Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Angelina and today I'm going to be talking about the 24 books that I'm going to be prioritizing in 2024. So just to preface this video, I'm not going to be going too in-depth into what these books are about just because personally I don't like knowing too much about a book before going into it. So just bear that in mind. I also kind of want to keep this video very short and sweet and just, pretty much give you a list so that you know what you can expect me to read this year. So let's just get to it. First one on my list is actually a manga, and that is Kaiju number 8, and specifically volume 7 because that's the current one that I'm on. But more, I just want to keep up with the series just because I'm absolutely loving it and I am behind with the manga. So I'm putting this on here. Specifically volume 7 is going to be a priority, but just the series in general is going to be a high priority for me this year. Along with that, just so we can, talk about the actual books, as some may say, I do have a middle grade graphic novel, and that is The Tea Tapestry by Kate O'Neill. This is the third in this very cute, adorable little middle grade fantasy series, and this book has been out for a bit now, and I would just want to prioritize getting to it because I keep seeing it everywhere and I know I have to read it, and I know I'm going to love it. So yeah. Okay, but moving on to the actual books that I want to read. Actual books. I know a lot of people in the reading community get all twisted into knots about if manga and graphic novels are actually reading. I think they're actual reading. So, either way, We Are Not Free by Tracy Chee. This is one I've had on my physical TBR for a while now, and I just really want to get to it. It is a YA book, and I know I've said in so many videos that I've moved out of YA. However, this is historical fiction, and I can make some exceptions. Do I know what this is about? Really? No. But I've only ever heard good things about this. And next we have Play to Win by Jodie Slaughter. This is an adult romance, and all I know it has to do with winning the lottery. I'm not sure if it was a second chance romance type thing or not. I don't really remember, but I really enjoyed this author's last book. I don't remember the title off the top of my head, but it was the one about bingo. I'll put the cover on the screen. But I really enjoyed that book, so I do want to get around to this one. And if you've seen my goals video, this is one of the books that's on my NetGalley TBR, so it is a double high priority for me. And if you haven't seen that video, I will link it in the description and up in the cards above if you would like to check it out. Next is Antibot by Sarah Greer. I hope I'm saying the author's name correctly. And I believe this is a sci-fi book. I remember reading the synopsis and saying that this book sounded amazing. It sounded like everything I could want in a book, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't even remember what it was, but I love the cover. It's super pink and I'm excited about it. And I'm honestly glad that I don't remember the synopsis because I like being surprised when I go into my books. And then we have Out on a Limb by Hannah Bowen Young. This is another adult romance, and I'll be honest, I don't remember what this one's about either, but this is one I've heard so many good things about. It sounded intriguing. I know it has a disability rep in it, and it is own voices, so I'm also super excited about that. And then I want to start The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. I would theoretically like to read this entire series if possible, just because the entire series out, it seems like something that'd be fun to binge. I haven't had a good series binge in a while, but obviously that is dependent on if I do enjoy this first book or not. But this is a grimdark fantasy. I believe this is grimdark. Yeah, but it is one that I've had on my TBR for a while, and I am super excited to actually read it. And next is Spells for Lost Things by Jenna Evans Welch, and I will be honest, I have no clue what this book is about. I believe it's YA contemporary. However, since the word spells is in the title, maybe it has some magical elements to it. I'm not sure. However, I do know that this book has been out for a bit now, and it is by an author who I've given all of their books 5 stars to, so I do really want to get to this one. In that same vein, we have A Wilderness of Stars by Shay Earnshaw. This is an author who all of their YA stuff I have absolutely adored, but their adult books I do not enjoy at all. I'm going to be honest, I don't know whether this is a YA or adult book. All I know is that it's an author I really like, and I just really want to like any book that she comes out with, so I'm putting this on the TBR just because it has been out for a while and I've kind of just been putting it off because I'm kind of scared, but this is the year I actually get around to reading it. And then we have The Book at War, How Reading Shaped Conflict and Conflict Shaped Reading by Andrew Pettigrew. And this is a nonfiction book, obviously about reading and about war, how they intersect, and that intrigues me. Again, I want this to be my year of nonfiction, so this is one that's been on my radar for a bit now, and I'm excited about it. Next book is Fancy Meeting You Here by Julie Chu, and hopefully I'm saying that author's name right, but this is an author who all of her books before this one I have adored, so again, I'm prioritizing authors that I've enjoyed books from before, and this is one of those cases. So it has an adorable cover, it's an adult romance, I'm here for it, it's on the list. Next is This Wretched Valley by Jennifer Kiefer. Again, I'm sorry about my pronunciations. I hope I'm not totally messing up all of these authors' names, but this is a horror book. Again, another one I'm not sure if it's YA or adult, but this one has some inspiration taken from a real life event, and I'm excited for this one. Also, I just love the cover of it. And then of course I had to add What Feasts the Night by T. Kingfisher. This book is technically the second, which I didn't realize there was going to be a second in the series, but this is the next book to What Moves the Dead. I absolutely love that book. I gave it 5 stars. I reread it. I gave it 5 stars again. I think about that book all of the time, so I am so excited to see what happens in the second book. It is definitely a high priority for me. And then of course we have The Pairing by Casey McQuiston. I believe this is an adult romance, hopefully. And I say that because I've given both of their adult romances 5 stars. However, their young adult book, I did not like that one. So, you know, I'm interested in this one. I believe it has to do with food. So, I'm here for it. And then 2 more books that I technically have a NetGalley review copy for, and that is both Tilly and Technicolor and Late Bloomer. Both are by Maisie Eddings. This is another author who I've given every single one of their books 5 stars. One of my all-time favorite authors. And I have their YA book. This is their first YA book, and then their next adult book. And Tilly and Technicolor is one that has, I believe it's ADHD representation and autism representation, I believe, and all I know is that there's a lot of Pantone references in it, and I'm so excited for it. I just think it's going to be adorable and cute. And Late Bloomer is a sapphic romance. The cover is everything to me. I'm so excited for both these books. Not only are they both by my all-time favorite author, but they're also on my NetGalley TBR, which means they're an even higher priority. So I'm excited to get, 2 more of them on this list. And then one that I am sort of scared to put on this list, that is A Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. This is a very chunky book. I enjoyed the first book in the series, The Name of the Wind. I do know that this series is very slow to being completed, and I haven't heard the best things about the second book in particular. But, you know, again, I really enjoyed the first book. I own the second book. It's daunting. I'm not sure if I'm going to enjoy it, but it's going on this list. Next is Sex Cult Nun by Faith Jones. This is another nonfiction. I believe it's a memoir about this author's experience growing up in a cult. And it just seems really interesting. And I won't lie, the end of 2023 and so far in 2024, I have been very into learning about cults and like religious affiliations that are cult-like but aren't really considered cults. I've gone down a pretty big rabbit hole of that so far that I won't get into in this video, but maybe in the future I'll talk about it a bit more. But I won't lie, that is a main reason why I picked up this book, because it is a big interest of mine at the moment. Okay, and the next two on this list is The Chalice of the Gods, which is the 6th book in the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan. I'm not gonna lie, I did not know that this book was coming out, but I own it, and since I was such a big fan of Percy Jackson back in the day, I had to, of course, get a copy. And I am sort of excited to see where this goes, although I can't lie, I am kind of nervous just because, to my knowledge, the series wrapped up pretty well, and I'm not sure if this book was totally needed, but nonetheless, I will be checking this one out. And along the same lines, I have The Sun and the Star, which is following Nico D'Angelo, who is a character in the Percy Jackson series. And this is also co-written by Mark Bashiro, who is an author I have read a book from before and really enjoyed. So I am excited about this. Again, this is one I could see there being more promise to, just because this is a character who wasn't explored fully in the series. So this one I have higher hopes for than The Chalice of the Gods, but again, both of these are from series that, you know, it has a nostalgia part to it, and I own both of them, so they're going on this list. And then, of course, Caliban's War by James S.A. Corey. This is book 2 in, what is the series called? Is it called The Expanse series? Yeah. The Expanse series. This book 2, the first book is Leviathan Wakes. I really enjoyed the first book, so I bought the second book, and I kind of put off reading this, but this is another series that I feel like has bingeable potential, and yet I didn't do that. I did pretty much get this book right after finishing the first one, so I sort of missed an opportunity already, but there are so many books in this series, so binging potential. That is what I want for this year. I want to binge more series. But yeah, this one is going on the TBR, and this might include the entire series. I don't know, but specifically, I just want to get back into this universe, so it's on the list. Greek Lessons by Han Kang. This is a book I know absolutely nothing about. However, this author wrote The Vegetarian, which is one of my all-time favorite books. I read this book with zero expectations, and it sort of blew me away. So obviously this book came out. I had to get a copy. I know nothing about this book, but I am so excited to read it. And of course, it is like a short little novella. The same like The Vegetarian. I'm so excited to read this. I don't have any other thoughts on it. Okay, the next book is Raw Dog. This is by Jamie Loftus. Probably butchering another name. I apologize. This is a nonfiction book all about hot dogs, and I'm so excited for it. Also, this book is absolutely stunning under the dust jacket. So we have these beautiful end papers. I love it. But also the cover, or like the actual like hardback portion of the book, looks like this. And I'm in love with it. So, you know, I did maybe buy this book just because I liked the end papers and the actual cover of the book. But again, my nonfiction era is going to happen, and this just seems like a fun but interesting book, and I am excited to read it. It is one that has been on my radar. However, I was planning to just pick it up from the library, but this book is gorgeous, so I had to get a copy. All right, and the last book on my list, book number 24, the 24th book on my priority list for 2024. And that is, of course, Shipwrecked by Olivia Dade. Are we surprised? Probably. I don't know if I've really, you know, talked about my love for Olivia Dade's book, All the Feels, to the full extent that I feel like I should have. However, that book, which is technically like the second in this like companion romance series, that's one of my all-time favorite books. I love it so much. But this one is book 3 in the series, and I believe they're like shooting a film on like an island, and something you might not know about me is that not only do I love this author's previous book in the series and thought it was one of the best romances and relationships that I've ever read in my entire life, but I also really like books that are set on the water, around water, on islands. Like that whole vibe is one of my favorite things. So to have a book that combines everything that I could possibly want in a romance, I am so excited for this. I know it's been out for a while, but again, it's my expectations through the roof. I'm scared to pick it up, but also so very excited for it. So this one was, of course, going to go on the list. Yeah. But those are all 24 books that I'm going to be prioritizing in 2024. Leave a comment and tell me what book you are prioritizing in 2024. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!